This is Joshua Hart here for Seconds Out. It is fight week, and I'm here with Charlie Edwards. Charlie, fight week, European title this Friday against your brother's fighter, Thomas Essomba. A lot of talking in the build-up, a lot of hype around this fight, I'd say as well. York Hall is sold out now. Is it starting to feel real that this fight is really close now?
Yeah, man. This is what dreams are made of, you know. This is what I've been dreaming for, praying for a very long time. I've got the spotlight back, fighting for a European title. And, yeah, man, I'm ready.
Do you feel like this has been a long time in the making? So we know that you've been a former world champion, but then you seem to have a few inactive years. Obviously, I know you spoke a bit about obviously when you worked with Joe Gallagher and how that didn't work out for you necessarily. And we could see the raw emotion after your last fight. We could see how much it meant to you to be back in the ring. Is it all about now winning this title on Friday night and then pushing on?
Yeah, 100%. I'm not looking past Friday. I've got a great opponent in Thomas Essomba, who holds threat, and but we've studied him meticulously, and we know what to expect in every little way. And I believe it's going to be a very dominant, punch-perfect performance, and don't be surprised if I end up knocking him out. I see too many flaws, too many mistakes from him. But yeah, man, it's good to be here. It's good to be back. I'm grateful. I'm happy. But I'm a big believer that everything I have been through, it's all been planned and destined by God to create me into the character I am today, to build the resilience, to build the hunger, the determination, the strength, the speed, the focus, and most importantly, to push me into a position where I manage myself. I'm in full control of my career now, and no one wants it better more than me. And I've got a great team around me, and I've had the time to actually pick the right team. It's happened naturally. It's like God's put us all together. And on Friday night, you're going to see a very dominant performance by Charlie Edwards.
You mentioned this being the biggest fight of your career, but we have seen you compete for world titles on massive stages at the O2. What gives you that feeling that this fight on Friday is bigger than any fight you've had in your career so far?
Because I'm chasing legacy. Every fight is the biggest fight of my career, and that's the mindset I'm going in with every fight from now on. Like, my dreams and goals are to go down as a British great, and to do that I need to win 4 world titles. This is a step on that journey to make that possible. When I win the European title on Friday night in style, all of a sudden people start opening their eyes, opening their mouths again. Oh, where's he been? And then we move, and whatever's next is all up to God, and it's all God's plan. But Friday night, full focus, full determination, and it's do or die.
And you mentioned having had the time to find the right team. What was that process like, especially when you said it's all kind of like it was meant to be? How did it all come about, and finding that team and finding a team that, you know, from the outside looking in, and obviously you know more than anyone else, it looks like a perfect setup that you've got at the moment. I think this is probably the happiest we've seen you, and the happiest we've seen you with boxing in a very long time.
That's it. A happy fight is a dangerous fighter. There's no truer words to that. And how it happened, the man upstairs, through prayer, through hope, through blind faith, from going outside and standing in my place in Portugal, looking up at the stars, the full moon, just praying for these moments, pleading with him, asking for guidance to connect me with the right people that I need to be with, rather than trying to take full control and just run about and make mad decisions because of the ego wants to be in this gym because it's got a load of big named fighters, etc., etc. I allowed it to play out naturally, and I attracted it, and that's through the Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ. And I'm so happy and grateful that I put my faith in the Lord.
One thing that I'm taking away a lot, not just from this interview, but the last interview I did with you, Charlie, is how thankful you really are. Sometimes you'll have fighters go into interviews and say, yeah, they're happy to be in this position, but really they're just saying it for the camera. With you, I can tell that you're really, really thankful. And when you said after your last fight that you weren't sure if you were going to be back in this position where you were headlining shows and being in a boxing ring again, I feel like it's authentic. I feel like everything you're saying here, you truly mean it, and I can just see how important this journey really is for you.
I give my heart and my soul to the sport of boxing. I've been in the sport of boxing for 20 years now. Yeah, I dedicate myself every day, day in, day out. All I'm worried about is my family, my little daughter, my wife, and my boxing career, you know. And it means so much. I've sacrificed my whole life for this, and to get back where I belong and get the stage back and get the titles back and get the ball rolling again, it makes me the happiest I've ever been. You know, this is my purpose. This means the world to me, and I'm destined for great things. And I'm a big, firm believer that I've had these inner dreams and inner ambitions to follow, and there was reasons why many others would have give up with what I had to go through to get back to this. But I don't give up. I continue to push forward. I want to be a role model for my daughter, to work hard, and you just keep going and keep going. And yeah, when you're doing something with passion, your heart and your soul, and you want it more than ever, no wonder it comes back.
Just very quickly, I want to get a few words on your brother. Obviously, this fight has been sold. You can see, obviously, on the stage there, it says family feud. What has this build-up been like? Going to get, obviously, I know we've already spoke about this, but now that the fight week's here and the build-up is nearly over, going against your brother, he said in a little clip that I saw on Instagram yesterday that if you believe you're better than him, you should do an absolute job on Thomas Essomba because he beat him 5 years ago. When you see things like that, what's going through your mind?
What's going through my mind? Poor Thomas Essomba, he's being reminded of his loss again. It was the same after the Eli Conky fight. It was the same before the Marcel Braithwaite fight. Like, poor Thomas Essomba. Like, Sonny's his manager. Like, and he keeps getting reminded that he's been beaten already by him. And for me, it's not about being better than my brother. I'm happy for my brother. I really want him to go to great heights and continue to push it, because our Edwards name, Edwards Brotherhood, it's a legacy in its own. And we're doing great things for British boxing. I'm in competition with myself. I want to be the best version of Charlie Edwards every time. I want to create legacy for Charlie Edwards, you know. So whatever happens Friday night, do you know what I mean? The best Charlie Edwards is stepping foot into the ring. Doesn't matter if Sonny's a part of the other corner or if he's a part of saying all this shit about he thinks he's going to beat me, etc., etc. Ask him how. Ask him how he's going to beat me. He's an expert boxing analysis for DAZN. So ask him how, and when he gives the answer, look into his eyes and see if he even believes that. Because I know he knows his brother more than anyone. I leave no stone unturned. My percentage game's up. I'm in the prime of my life, the peak of my career. It's time. And on Friday, you'll see that.
Do you feel with this build-up, people have almost forgot about this fight being a European title fight with the way it's been sold? So it's almost being talked, the main people being spoke about are you and your brother. Thomas hasn't had as much of a say in this. We've not seen a lot of media from him. Do you feel, obviously, I feel like when I ask this question, I know what the answer is going to be here. It doesn't matter whether Sonny's in that corner or not. If whoever holds that European title that you want to get your hands on, you would have fought anyone for it, wouldn't you?
Well, I see something the other day. Thomas said, don't take my silence for weakness. Get that? Yeah, and I would never take silence for weakness. I know that full well because I've been through the game for a very long time. However, if you're that confident, yeah, you're coming into the years of your career, you're the European champion. This is the biggest stage you've been on live on Channel 5, headlining against an Edwards, yeah, with the backing of his brother, yeah. It's like getting blood out of a stone with him, you know. And yeah, I get it, but he has a potential to earn so much more money if people actually recognise him. And in this sport of boxing, it's about legacy, but it's also about providing for your family, your daughter, your wife, your future. So you would think that you would want to push your value through the roof. So that screams one thing to me, and one thing is not very confident. I don't believe his team's very confident. His coach, Piers Goodjohn, before this fight got announced, was just like, "Oh, I'm just glad and happy we've been able to get him a good payday." That's your coach, bro. Like, that's your coach. So your team don't even have confidence in you. Yeah, Thomas, when you go to bed at night, yeah, and how old are you now? 36. When you go to bed at night, yeah, and you put your head to the pillow, just remember and ask yourself this question. When you was 31, when you got beat by my brother, when you was in the peak years of your career, just remember how good you felt, how fresh you felt, how strong you felt. That's Charlie Edwards right now, in the peak of his career. And I'm coming for you on Friday night. You best believe that. I take no silence for no weakness. This means more to me than you ever know. This is my life. It's do or die. Friday night, I'm coming.
Just very lastly, your brothers had a fight announced, Galal Yafai. I remember when we spoke about it in the build-up to this fight, and you said you'd like, you should get some sparring in with Galal maybe because of how this fight's gone. Now that the fight's announced, Sonny believes the fight's not going to happen with Galal's Keep Busy fight on Saturday. But if they do get in the ring, what do you think happens?
Oh, the fight's happening. I've already been called up for sparring.
To spar with Galal?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're going to be sparring Galal Yafai?
Yeah, I am. Pick sides. Pick sides. Went up against the wrong one, mate.
So you're going to get out of this fight, and then what? You're not going to have much time off. You're going to be straight into camp with Galal?
Mate, I live in camp. I have done. I live a lifestyle of boxing. I'll have 2 weeks off, and then I'll be back. A little freshen up, and then I'll be back sparring.
So when we thought this feud of you and Sonny going back and not back and forth each other, but against each other with fighters, we thought after Friday night, it'll be all good as gold again. But clearly not. Are you Team Galal then going into the fight?
Listen, at the end of the day, it's each and every fighter for himself. I think my brother's made that pretty clear. I'm not any team. If I'm sparring, I'm sparring. I'm bettering myself for sparring someone who's a good fighter. It's boxing. Do you know what I mean? Just like Sonny is managing Thomas, just like Sonny's probably been sparring Thomas. It is what it is. But sparring, better myself career, add an extra little string to my bow, develop more world-class sparring. Why would I turn that down?
Well, Charlie, thank you very much for your time. As always, it's always good to talk with you, and best luck on Friday night. Thank you.
Nice one, mate. And the new baby.
Thank you. Thank you very much.